What's good, YouTube? This your boy Rogue Scientist back with you with another Rogue and IQ 200 content. First and foremost, I would like to say Happy New Year's to you all, and I hope blessings and prosperity is in your favor in the days to come. Before we begin, I would like to say thank those that have already subscribed and shared my content currently. It motivates me to do more of these and also to bring you all the ideas that I have in my head so that you can apply to counter Meta's world, whether it's budget or if you have the money to buy all the Meta cards. So don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to your boy. As I mentioned, encourage me to do more videos. So I would have put out a video sooner, but I was going to wait to start out the new year with a rogue deck profile that I think you guys will enjoy. It is also good for the tournament and it can be competitive. The way this is built, it can be a potential tier 2. So I haven't told you what deck it is, so I'm just going to surprise you with the first 3 cards. So without further ado, let's begin this rogue deck profile. So as I mentioned, I haven't mentioned the deck profile, but this is a really fun deck that I always wanted to play since the structured deck kind came out. So, and yes, I did say I was going to mention the name of the deck with these first 3 cards, but they'll just me trolling just those few sentences. So this deck profile is actually Sacred Beast. So Sacred Beast is a really good going first and also going second deck that relies on some floodgates and is a complete control based deck. This can be OTK when it wants to, and it has really good synergy with this one card that just recently came out in Brothers of Legend. This one card changed the whole change the deck as a whole and gives you more options, more advantages, more windows for you to get your starters and get your inboards. So I will share a couple of combos with you on that as well. So let us begin. You see my chin in the video. As always, my videos is all unscripted and unfiltered. So let us begin with the norm. You're gonna run 3 Chaos Summoning Beasts, 3 Dark Beckoning Beasts, 3 Dark Summoning Beasts, and then you got your Sacred Beast, 2 Haman, 1 Rabiel, 1 Uriah. That's the Sacred Beast package. And then for your monster hand traps, just 2 Ash and 1 Ghost Bell Haunted Mansion. So that does it for this monster lineup. It's a pretty good ratio so far. You can also sat this out with either Ghost Ogre or just a 3rd Ash, but I feel that most decks now are graveyard reliant, so this will work. And now for the spell cards. So this is the star of the deck. Like I said, this card just came out in Brothers Legend, and I really love this card in this deck. So this make this deck even more competitive and more controlled. And that card is Kiri Reese map. Run 3 of these. So this is pretty much a staple in the Sacred Beast deck. This card will search you just about all your starters, including your hand traps. The only cards it will not search is the Sacred Beast themselves. But you got your starters to do that. So this is pretty much the go-to staple. And you have to activate this at the start of your main phase 1 to pretty much search anything with 0 attack. And that's all the beast. The Chaos Summoning Beast, Dark Beckoning, and Dark Chaos Beast. The Ghost Ogre and the Ash and the Ghost Spells, they can be searched, but you can't use them until the end of your opponent's turn unless they're normal summon. So keep that in mind. What else? Moving on. 3 opening of the Spirit Gates. So this would get your Haman, your Uriah, and Raviel, or any card that specifically lists their names in that text. 2 Fallen Paradise. 2 Foolish Burial Goods. 1 Prosperity. Yeah, the alternative budget, you can go either Lightning Storm. You can also go Pot of Desires if you want. And don't use Duality, but the alternative would be Pot of Desires. I'm just running 1 to test it. But once I get my hands on Lightning Storm, I'm gonna side it out, because you really don't need this in this deck, but you know, that's just overextending. 1 Raigeki, 1 Feather Duster, 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Cerulean Skyfire, 1 Dimension Fusion Destruction, and 1 Deck Lockdown. So keep in mind, these are continuous spell cards. So with the Foolish Burial Goods, you can dump 1 of these 2 to the graveyard with Foolish Burial Goods and get them back out the graveyard with Opening of the Spirit Gates. If you control a level 10, you can get a continuous spell card out the graveyard added to your hand. That's if you don't see it in your hand. You can always dump it in the graveyard. And that's it for the spell lineup. And for the traps, 2 Imperm. If you don't want to use Imperm, you can also use Effect Veiler. 2, there can only be 1. 2 Awakening of the Sacred Beast. And lastly, 1 Skill Drain. So you really have 3 skill drains in this deck if you look at it. You got this one, and you also got these 2. So if you control 2 Sacred Beasts on the field with different names, you get a skill drain, plus every time your opponent summons a monster, you gain life points equal to the attack of that monster on resolution. So let's just say if your opponent summons a monster like Appaloosa with question mark attack, even though it says its original attack is equal to the materials, you gain life points based off the number of materials they use to make Appaloosa. So if they use 3 materials, you would gain 2,400 life points. If they use 4 materials, you gain 32, so forth, so on. You get the picture. So that's the end of that deck. So that's the end of the deck profile for the main deck. And now let's go to the extra deck. Extra deck is 2 Salamangreat Almirage. This is a go-to card to protect your Sacred Beast. So I will show you a couple of combos using this. 1 Verde Anaconda. If you don't have this, just put in the 3rd Almirage. It doesn't hurt anything. 1 Ip Masquerena. 1 Nightmare Phoenix. 1 unicorn, 1 access code talker. If you don't have access code talker, the alternative, you can use Topologic Trispana or Zeroboros. Zeroboros is really good for that last resort. 1 Boros Sword Dragon. Pretty much everybody should have this by now. And then the train package, Gustav Max, Superdora, Gangradai, and Juggernaut Levy. That's the train package. And also 1 Zeus. If you don't have Zeus, you can also put in another Gustav Max to keep your train package going. But you should have Zeus by now. Zeus is not that expensive. And then we also have the fusions themselves. 1 Armortal Chaos Phantasm and Armortal Chaos Phantasm Phantom of Fury. So this would get you your last 2, like your last resort. Like if your opponent has Floodgates and then you got your Sacred Beast in the graveyard, you can sprain this on them. Especially if you siding in like Dark Ruler No More. If you go Dark Ruler No More, you go for your Verte Anaconda play. You banish the Sacred Beast. Give this to your opponent during the end phase. All their monsters are banished. Then you get him on the field with 10,000 attack. So that's it for the Sacred Beast. As you know, my side deck is universal, so if you've seen a live twin deck profile, you will also get that side deck as well. But the only few cards I would change is the Evenly Match and maybe Nibiru. Just 1 Nibiru to side in, 3 Dark Ruler No More. So now when you look at your combo plays, as you know, your normal combo plays would be, this is your starter. You also go, you would summon Dark Beckoning Beast, and you would get your search. Depending on what your hands look like. If you get this, if you have this in your hand, then that's fine. But like I said, if you got 1 of these in your hand, you can search either one of the 3 beasts plus your hand traps. But you can't use their effects unless you normal summon, so please keep that in mind. So if you search this with Kiri Reese map, you have to normal summon it. You can't use his banish effect. Same with this. So if you don't have it, you can always Kiri Reese map for this. Alright, so just a heads up. So you would go Dark Beckoning Beast, then you would normal summon your Chaos Summoning Beast. Remember, he gives you an extra normal summon. And then you can search out your Spirit Gates if you have these 2 in the hand, or 1 or the other with Kiri Reese map. So this would get you your Haman. Your Haman to your hand. And what you would do is you would tribute your Chaos Summoning Beast for Haman in attack mode. Then you're going to link off your Dark Beckoning Beast for your Amirage. So the board should look, if this is center, or you can put that center, and then your extra deck zone is that. So Amirage will protect your Haman if you don't have Awakening. Then to follow up, you can banish your You can banish your Chaos Summoning Beast from your graveyard to add Fallen Paradise from your deck to your hand. Then activate it to give you 2 cards. So this is a Pot of Greed every turn. It protects your Sacred Beast from destruction. And that's pretty much it. It can't be destroyed, it can't be targeted. But however, if you don't have this and they manage to destroy it, you still can protect Haman by tributing this, target Haman to protect it. And you also have other options with Foolish Burial Goods. Foolish Burial Goods will let you dump any other continuous like Cerulean Skyfire, or your deck lockdown. So if you want to go for like the 1 negate play, you can dump this in the graveyard. You can dump that in the graveyard, use opening to add to your hand, and then you can activate it. So that lets you stop any spell and trap effect. It won't let you stop the activation. So this will help you stop cards like Super Poly and even Solemn Judgment. Yes, it can stop Solemn Judgment. Solemn Judgment is a spell speed 3. You need to understand one thing. You cannot stop the activation. You're negating upon resolution. So please keep in mind, like for example, if your opponent activates Super Poly, which is a spell speed 4, meaning you cannot change to the you cannot activate in response of that card. However, you're responding to the effect. You just simply negate the effect on resolution, switch Haman to defense. Same with Solemn Judgment. They activate Solemn Judgment, the activation's fine. Switch Haman to defense on resolution to negate the effect of Solemn Judgment. So I hope that little combo helps. But if you want to stop your opponent, instead of getting this out, you just go for your deck lockdown play. You can dump deck lockdown and get this back with the opening of the Spirit Gates. It locks you and your opponent from special summoning out the deck, and also adding cards from your deck to your hand. So please keep that in mind. But you already got your combo established, so you really don't special summon out the deck and nor search as much once your combo is already established. But you can still draw 2 cards off Fallen Paradise. So this is a way to keep your opponent really under pressure. Plus, this gets destroyed on your second standby phase. So on your second standby phase, this gets popped. If you really want to keep pressure on your opponent, activate it and just simply get it back out the graveyard, add it to your hand, do all your plays, and once you're in your turn, activate it again. Or unless you want to, or unless you know your opponent has one of those decks that special summons monsters once they hit the graveyard or get destroyed by battle or banished like that, then you can activate it prior. So, and then there's also your extras like your Awakening of the Sacred Beast that gives you life points. And then if you manage to get Dark Summoning Beast in the graveyard, like with Foolish Burial, you can have a Haman on the field. So this gives you life points and a skill drain. Also, if you have Uriah, you can special summon it. You can search it and then special summon it with Chaos Summoning Beast to have this. Now your opponent has to banish all their monsters. So that's just basic how to play this deck. So this is not a actual real life draw what to do when you have these particular cards in your hand situation. So your hand varies, but this is just a basic combo of how to use this deck. So, also, last resort, if you have any of these in the grave, because like I said, all your cards, you can go in your train package if you want. You can go in your Verte Anaconda play using Chaos Beckoning Beast and Chaos Summoning Beast. Dark Beckoning Beast and Chaos Summoning Beast. So even if you have one of these three on the field, you can go that. While you have one of these on the field, use his effect, normal summon, and then link these two off. That's if you use all your resources for your Verte Anaconda play, or go in It Masquerena for that interruption, and you just go into Nightmare Unicorn to spin one of their cards on the field to the deck, whichever works. So you can also go, let's just say you do the Verte Anaconda play, and all these are in your graveyard. That's why I run 2 Haman, just so I can have something to fall back on. You can pay 2,000 life points to banish Dimension Fusion Destruction. Especially if you want to go for that OTK play, you can bring out one of these too. So if it's on your turn, you can go for the Armor Tile play. I'm sorry. You can go for the Armor Tile play and hit your opponent for 10k. That's if their field's wide open for you to do so. Or if not, if you want to wipe their board, you go Phantom of Fury, get that to your opponent, and during the end phase, they all get banished, and you get an Armor Tile. You get an Armor Tile. So, yeah, so keep in mind, it says you can bring him out using his effect after you banish during the end phase. So all this is one effect during the end phase. So during the end phase, you banish your opponent's monsters. Then he comes out on your field. Then your draw phase. Then you get 2 cards for Falling to Paradise because you control the Phantasm monster. And you can punch for 10k. Can't go wrong, right? So, wanted to share this rogue deck profile with you. And I feel that it is competitive potential. As I mentioned, that the alternatives that you can use if you want to go more on the budget side. As I mentioned, Pot of Prosperity is just there for right now, but it's not really my go-to card. I rely on Kiri Reese map more than Prosperity. But if I don't have the Reese map and none of my starters, then Pot of Prosperity can work in this case. But most of the times when you're using this deck, you're going to pull your starter or one of the starters, whether it's Opening of the Spirit Gates or one of Chaos Summoning Beast, Chaos Beckoning Beast. You're going to open in one of those starters. That's guaranteed. And then there can only be one is that Floodgate if you're playing against decks like Drytron, Sword Soul, any deck that is more one type based. And you can also special summon with Opening of the Spirit Gates by discarding 1 card to special summon 1 Fiend monster out your graveyard with 0 attack. So please keep that in mind too. So if you have the level 5, which is Dark Summoning Beast, if you have a level 5 in your hand, you can discard him and special summon him right out the graveyard. But keep in mind that you must have a target prior to activating the effect of Opening of the Sacred Gates. So, like for example, if you go through your Sacred Beast plays, do all that, and you go for your link for the Amirage, then you got your Haman on the field, you go Opening the Spirit Gates, now you can drop your Beast and special summon it back because you have targets prior to activation. So just keep in mind that Even if you have the beast on the field, you play that, you can't discard a special summon because you had no targets in to begin with. So just go through your plays thoroughly and carefully, and this deck should be able to get you in the top tables. I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but everybody makes mistakes. Player error, lack of focus, impatient meta players, all that will factor in on how well you play. So, with that being said, like I said, you can make your own side deck as long as you have 3 Dark Ruler No Mores in there, 3 Drolling Lockbird. Everything else is pretty much all ball game in terms of your side deck. You can also do the Nibiru's, the Ghost Ogres. Ghost Ogre is my go-to. You can also do cards like No Material. You can drop spraying this on your opponent to lock them out of Ritual and extra deck summoning by using that particular card as a material. But you can't have no cards on the field. So that kind of defeats the whole purpose of using a card. And also, if you don't want to use Access Code Talker, you can also use Unchained Abomination. Because all he requires is a think two or more materials, including a Link Monster as material. So you can go Ip Masquerena and 2 of your beasts into Unchained Abomination. And then you get a pop on the end phase, you get a pop on the battle phase, you get a pop on a card effect, whether it be you or your opponent. But most of the time it's going to be your opponent because you're trying to stop them from playing. That's what your deck lockdown is for. That's what your Awakening of the Sacred Beast is for. Just to keep you on that, just to keep you going. So remember also, when you use a Kiri Reese map at the start of the main phase 1, your life points do get cut in half. So you go search your starter, then after that, you have your life points, and you're locked into not using that effect unless you normal summon it. But as far as normal summoning, you're not too much worried about. So your life points get cut in half after using that effect at the start of main phase 1. But that's where Awakening of the Sacred Beast comes in, that it replenishes your life points that you paid to your search. So that's why this is a good card in the start of the deck. And it is a potential tier 2 if built correctly. So why don't you guys give this deck a shot? Let me know how well you do. And I will update the deck if anything changes on the ban list. Like I said, it's not going to hurt the deck much on the ban list, except Verde and Anaconda may possibly get banned. If so, just put in a 3rd Salamander Mirage. Other than that, that's pretty much it for this deck profile of Sacred Beasts in 2022. So, let me know what you guys think of this deck profile and the little how-to tutorial. It's not really a combo tutorial, kind of, but it's more like a how to use this deck basic, if anything other than a combo tutorial. So if you understand the basics, you pretty much got the combo down packed, and you pretty much understand why the cards are in this deck are chosen. So, and before I forget, like the Harpy's Feather Duster, the Raigeki, and the Pot of Prosperity, it's just in there for the short period of time because I want to run 3 Lightning Storms. So if you get the alternative Lightning Storms, I think they're like 30-ish a piece from King's Court. You can run 3 Lightning Storms instead of the Feather Duster, the Raigeki, and the Pot of Prosperity. It's that simple. Feather Duster and Raigeki is pretty much your Lightning Storm 1.5. and your prosperity is your Kiri Reese map 1.2. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think once again. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to your boy for more Rogue and I2 content. Alright guys, enjoy and have a safe new year. Rogue Scientist, signing off.